cell phone, would you mind turning the volume off so that it doesn't go up? We'll have our first song now. It's called The Next Step.
Today we take the next step beyond our own needs. Listen to the inner voice in all our thoughts and deeds. To keep from heart-sized vessels soon will overflow. I'll be a wounded healer with joy that all will know. By giving all we are and have, serve the people here, to love and serve the joyous heart, our path now so clear. Today we take this robe of love to serve all people here, committed to all creatures with a love that's limitless. Today we take the next step beyond our own needs. Listen to solemnly embrace this day with our hearts of love. Share the celebration. I'm as gentle as a dove.
To form an endless circle, hold hands with those who come to share the celebration with each and every one.
Today we take the next step beyond our own needs. Listen to the inner voice in all our thoughts and deeds. To give from heart's eyes vessels, this soon will overflow. I'll be a wounded healer, joy all will know. Raise my eyes to the skies, stars to see the land. Something gentle touched mine. It was a master's hand.
And while I gaze at beauty that takes my breath away,
I pause, give thanks, and take the next step to start a brand new day.
I'd like to thank Reverend Dan Davison, who wrote the lyrics to the song you just heard. I'd also like to express thanks from all of us to the Urban Gypsy Band for their performance of this song. They have some CDs they brought and they're for sale, and the proceeds, part of the proceeds comes back to the church to help for ongoing expenses. My name is Reverend David Singh, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario. I'm honored to be the MC for this ordination of new ministers. I have been an ordained minister with the Bancroft Spiritual Center since 2012. I currently sit as the treasurer with the board of directors. Ordination is the act by which the spiritual center calls and appoints a person to leadership ministry in the life and mission of this spiritual center. People become quite remarkable when they start thinking they can do things. When they believe in themselves, they have the first secret of success. A little more than 12 years ago, Reverend Rita Marie Browning was thinking. Then she put her thoughts into action, and here we are 11 years later and celebrating our milestone. Anniversary of the Bancroft Center for the Awakening Spiritual Growth, also now known as the Metaphysical Ministry of Canada. I'm excited and pleased to welcome all of you to this very special 11th anniversary ordination service today. Ministers and about to be ministers are familiar with Reverend Rita Marie. However, for the benefit of our guests, I'd like to take a moment and properly introduce Reverend Rita Marie and Reverend Lisa. Reverend Rita Marie is the founder and governing official of the Bancroft Center for Awakening Spiritual Growth. Reverend Rita Marie is deeply spiritual and has spent her life feeling the presence of spirit, yet not always understanding what this was or what it meant. She explored many different studies, and it wasn't until she began her studies of metaphysics that things began to fall in place. When she took her oath as a metaphysical minister, she knew it meant she could continue her path of learning about the universal spirit through the teachings and helping of others. The Bancroft Center for Awakening Spiritual Growth was born on February 2nd, 2007, which was in her living room. It was then incorporated as a not-for-profit church in October 2007 and has continued to grow its ministry ever since. As part of the center's 11-year journey, we became the Canadian representatives for the University of Metaphysics and the University of Sedona in 2016. We also became recognized by the provincial governments as a metaphysical ministry. Reverend Rita Marie is dedicated to supporting the ministers of the Spiritual Center. Reverend Rita Marie teaches through the Meta Spiritual Teaching Center, as well as she leads services at spiritual gatherings in Lakefield, Ontario. Reverend Lisa Dale has spent the majority of her life studying theology, philosophy, meditation, mediumship, and energy healing, all in pursuit of her own personal path to the divine. In 2009, Reverend Lisa suffered a personal tragedy which inspired her to devote her life to assisting and supporting bereaving individuals. She became involved with the hospice and in 2013 was ordained through the Bancroft Center for Awakening Spiritual Growth. She followed her heart, serving grieving families as a celebrant of life officiant. Reverend Lisa teaches the Celebration of Life Officiants course with the Meta Spiritual Teaching Center and currently sits as Vice President on the Board of Directors for our church. She also assists Reverend Rita in leading spiritual gatherings in Lakefield, Ontario. And I'd like to ask Reverend Rita Marie to come forward with a few words.
So good morning and welcome to the Bancroft Center for Awakening Spiritual Growth. And as Dave said, also known as the Metaphysical Ministry of Canada. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone here for coming, to honor our new ministers for their accomplishments. Before I get started, I'd just like to share with those that do not know the knowledge of the metaphysics. Metaphysics acknowledges and respects the beauty in all of God's creation. Metaphysics is not a religion without dogma, but it's a way of life. Metaphysics does not explore religious beliefs and laws created by man, but rather it explores the undisputable laws of nature, set by the Creator or God, the universal presence, in the creation of this universe. Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that studies the ultimate nature of existence, reality, and experience without being bound to one theological doctrine or dogma. Metaphysics includes all religions, but transcends them all. Metaphysics is a study of the ultimate cause in the universe. Now that you have heard about metaphysics and what we stand for, I can share this. Metaphysics means that we are open to all religions and we do not judge others for their religious beliefs, as we do not want to be judged for our own beliefs. Our ministers come from all walks of life, and I'm a firm believer that we can all change our belief systems as we learn and grow within ourselves. By allowing others to hold on to their beliefs and trying to understand their beliefs can only help us on our own path of understanding. I know that the belief system I had 20 years ago, not what I believe today. And that's what I love about studying metaphysics. I'm free to change the course as I see fit. I believe that as long as we can go on our path in love and light, we spread that love and light. For all of you here today, get ready to take on a different path. because there is a purpose in your life. You were born to fulfill this in no way that anyone else can. You bring to life the talents, the gifts, and the experience like no other. Every experience is a key. Every talent is a tool. Every person in your life a coach for discovering, of redefining your own true purpose. Each life has a natural built-in reason for being. This is the creative spirit of life moving through you from inside out. It's the deep, mysterious dimensions in each soul which carries with it the profound, intuitive sense of personal identity. Your soul's intention is to be the love that you are. You move towards this perfect state of being by upholding the life that is present to you and to you alone.
I would like to welcome Aaron to speak to all of you from his heart.
Thank you very much. That's a very emotional beginning. So, yeah, my name is Aaron, and Rita asked me to share my journey from where I started to where I am now, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. My journey starts as a wedding DJ. Yeah, I got into that 6 years ago. I did the math last night. I have seen about 200 wedding ceremonies as a wedding DJ. And within the first year of seeing the ceremonies, I was like, you know what? I should be up there doing that instead of back here doing this. And I started trying to figure out how to do that. And I spoke to every single officiant I saw, and many of them were very helpful, some of them complimentary. Oh, you look like a minister. You have a voice for a minister. You'll be great at it. Great, can you tell me how to do it? No. Most of them were pretty much, you know, they grew up in the church of some kind. They were ordained as a minister of some kind. Religion was not in my life. I didn't think of God. It wasn't a thing that I spent time on at all. Justice of the Peace requires a lot of education. Ship captain, we've all seen Titanic. That wasn't a good one. So it was like, how am I going to do what I really think I'm supposed to be doing? And it was years that went by talking to every officiant and not really getting anywhere. I finally spoke to someone named Martin Frith, who's a humanist, and he said, "Oh, you'd be great with us. We don't study religion. We're about humans and love, and that's it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that sounds great." So I called the humanists, the head of the humanist organization. I don't remember his name. He seemed in a hurry, and when I asked him, you know, can you tell me more about the humanist organization? He said, "We think religion is stupid." Those were his exact words. Now, like I said, God wasn't in my life, but I knew that something inside me was like, nope, this isn't it. This isn't the right place for you. Spoke to Martin, told him what he said. He's like, "Oh, don't listen to that guy. He knows what he's talking about." You know, I was like, well, it's the head of the organization. So I think that's probably not going to be a good fit for me. I paid my dues then for a year because I thought that might have been the only way in, and I didn't follow. Eventually I stopped and said, this is not going to happen. Eventually, after doing 200 ceremonies, you get to know some of the officiants in Toronto. And one of them is a guy named Gary Francis. And Gary said, "Tell me all about yourself. What is it what is it you're all about?" And I told him, I tried the humanists, and that wasn't a fit, but I don't know what I believe in. I know there's something, I just don't know. He said, "You need to talk to Rita." And I said, "Okay, no problem. Who's Rita?" And the funny thing was, when I had gone to the website for the Bancroft Center, I know I had seen this website before, and I've read this one before. I don't know if this is going to be a good fit. I don't know. So, and also my friend Michelle is here today, who's an ordained minister with Bancroft, and also, even at that point, she said, I'm not sure it's the right fit for you either. So, I went back to Gary. I saw another ceremony. He's like, did you talk to me? And I said, I don't know if that's the place. Trust me, this is it. If this isn't the one for you, it's not going to happen. I said, okay, fair enough. So I went back and I figured out how to sign up and the police check and the whole thing, you got to do all the stuff. And Reverend Rita got back to me. She's like, well, we'll see how it goes. I said, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Absolutely. By the first class, I understood exactly why you needed to belong to this before you could perform a wedding. I completely understood it in the first class. By the second class, I felt I had really discovered something amazing for myself. And then by the third class, Reverend Rita said, Aaron, I have my doubts about you, and I wasn't sure this was going to work out, but I think you're in the right place. And I said, yeah, so do I. Everything I learned, it just felt like I was in the right place. I finally knew what I believed, finally. And it was just there in the background, and what's amazing is that I was a very cynical, very jaded person, very anxious, very nervous, very much of the world's out to get me, the world's a horrible place, and all of that started to go away. All of it went away. And that's amazing. That's an amazing feeling. Because I think it literally just added years back onto my life. So everything I learned was amazing. I looked forward to the assignments. My friends and family are here today. They can tell you I was not a homework person ever in any previous school. I looked forward to the assignments because it was an opportunity to shut my door, to close off work, to close off all of life's usual stuff that goes on every day, and just focus it on this brand new thing that I was really enjoying and learning so much. And often I'd be writing my assignments and all this stuff would be coming out and going, this is me? This is from me? This doesn't sound like me, but hey, it's me. And I loved every minute of it. And then I think it was by about the fifth class, I said, you know what, it doesn't matter if I do any weddings. It doesn't matter. So I feel very fortunate and very blessed to have discovered the organization, to work with Reverend Rita and Reverend Lisa, and I've learned an incredible amount, not just from them, but about myself. And I'm thankful, very thankful for them. So, yeah, that's my journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Rita Marie and Reverend Lisa, and our new ministers. I now call on Reverend Rita Marie to come back up and say a few words to the new ministers.
Okay, so this isn't going to take long because I'll probably just start to cry again. So, it really amazes me that every year we have, different groups of people coming in. Reverend Lisa and I have kind of joked around and said, can you imagine what would happen if we actually advertised? Because we don't, okay? I hide things in the church, website, and and I don't do it purposely. I just kind of went, well, if somebody's not interested, they're going to dig deep. The majority of people that have come to me is like, well, I was talking to so-and-so, and they knew you. I have no idea who these people are. Okay. And a lot of times when they say, oh, go see her, I've heard about her. You never know whether to say good things about them. So when somebody walks up to me, and I've seen it in the mall, okay? I live in a small town. go to Peterborough and they'll go, oh, you're Reverend Rita. And it's like, well, who's asking? But it really amazes me that the journey that this center's been on has grown because of all of you, because without you, we don't have a center. Simple, okay? You know, and again, the board that I've got now, God loves them. You know, because everything that went on yesterday, you know how a wedding, you know, some of you have done weddings or attended them. You always say to the bride, you know what, expect the unexpected. Because it's going to happen. And when it doesn't, you're happy. So we were like, okay, I wonder how many blimps in the road. There was none. Okay, and I can tell you, I started off helping them. I ended maybe helping them. They did everything in the middle. So when I looked at it and went, oh my God, what an amazing freaking job. You know, because A, it's our first conference, 2-day conference. You always expect the problem. And when you're looking at, you know, always expecting the problem, as you new ministers go out into this world, hold your head up high. Never ever change your personal faith unless you want to. You know, there's one minister that was with us that was ordained, I think about, I'll probably get this wrong, maybe 4 years ago. Super individual. And after about 2 months after the ceremony, he called me and he said, you know, I'm going to have to ask you if you can cancel my license. And I thought, oh, what did I do wrong, right? And he said, there's a problem with my church. Because I was ordained a metaphysical minister, and I won't mention, you know, the type of church, but they said, if you continue that, you can't come back here, and neither can your family. And I just said to him, you know, I'm going to respect your wishes. And he said, but you told me never to change my faith. And I said, you're right. I told you that, but I can't guarantee how somebody else is going to feel about it. This year I received a phone call from him at the beginning of the year, and he said, do you remember the conversation we had that you said I can come home anytime? And I said, yes. And he said, can I come home? It's really important to me. And I just said, welcome back, I'll sign the papers. He went through the course like all of you. And he said, you want me to do it all over again? And I said, no. And to me, it's a home. It's not, it's a family. And remember that when you're out there, you know, you're talking to people, you know how you students and even the other fellow ministers, I've always said, put your faith in your back pocket when you're talking to someone, because it's your faith. It helps you understand who the other person is coming from. And remember the comment that I always come out with and say, thanks for sharing. Okay, it doesn't mean you got to agree, disagree, just thanks for sharing. Be who you are, be proud of who you are. Your learning hasn't finished. Okay, Aaron?
I spent the classes, that's all.
Yeah. Because to me, I think you're going to take that next step, and that song was actually made and written by one of our ministers for the new ministers. We do it every year. Okay, because the words are so meaningful. And I know Reverend Dave had mentioned they do have the CDs. Those songs are on those CDs. Okay. So please go out into the world, be proud of who you are. And if tomorrow you change some of your belief system or your thoughts, go for it. It's fun. Because you're not held to, well, you know, Reverend Rita said you have to believe this. And I don't recall I ever had to say that to anyone. You know, I listen to all of your beliefs. We've got people, ministers in the United Church. We have Jewish rabbis that have come over. We have Buddhists. We have Wiccans. We have I can't even remember. Like it's a big mixture of family. I love it because we learn something from everyone. So please be proud of who you are. Go out there and light up the world because that's who you are.
Once again, we'd like to thank the Urban Gypsies. Also, our deepest thanks to all. Also, our deepest thanks to the volunteers and all those who have made this special day possible. If I could have the volunteers come up right now to receive a small token of our appreciation, without their help, we would not put this weekend together. Please. All right, if volunteer, can you come up? Thank you. Thank you. It's that $20. Hey, Nate. The Urban Gypsy Band will now sing a song titled Reach, followed by a special presentation. So even though they're finished, please remain seated. Thank you.
I saw light in the morning. I saw light in the day. I saw dreams reawaken when I was shown a new way. Reach for the highest power. Reach for your soul. Reach up above to the source of all love. Reach till you are whole. You know I sang some songs of freedom. I sang some songs of love. I have sung in every season, but never forgot above. Reach for the highest power. Reach for your soul. Reach up above to the source of all love. Reach till you are when my life changed completely. You know I changed my melody. So here's a song that I sing when I see the morning rising. Won't you sing my song with me? I saw light in the morning. I saw love in the day.
I saw dreams reawaken when I was shown a new way. Reach for the highest power. Reach for your soul. Reach up above to the source of all love. Reach till you are home.
You know I sang some songs of freedom. I sang some songs of love.
And I have sung in every season, but never forgot about. Reach for the highest power. Reach for your soul. Reach up above to a source of all love. Reach till you are home.
When my life changed completely, you know I changed my melody.
So here's a song that I sing when I see the morning rising. Won't you sing my song with me? Reach for the highest power. Reach for your soul. Reach up above to a source of all love. Reach till you are home. You are home. Till you are home.
I saw light in the morning. saw love in the day. I saw dreams reawaken when I was shown a new way. Reach for the highest power. Reach for your soul. Reach up above to the source of all love. Reach till you are whole.
Now I'm going to do the closing prayer, and when I'm completed, if I can just have the minister stand, and please don't leave us yet. Okay? O divine creator of all this wonder, shed thy mighty beams upon us now, so that we might be better equipped to devote ourselves in lasting service to all. Blessed are those who work for peace. They light the beacon of the darkness, and they open the oasis in the desert. They are the backbone of our modern society. Dear God, let your will for us be known. Use us, O God, as your creation. When a kind word needs to be spoken, please use our voice. When a load needs to be lifted, please use our back. When a hug needs to be given, please use our arms. When a journey needs to be taken, please use our feet. When a message needs to be delivered, use our minds. When a friend needs to be loved, please use our heart. And in all things, in all ways, use us, God, as your instrument of love, faith, peace, and tranquility. And so it is. Amen. Amen. And as I would normally say at the end of our gatherings, may the God mind bless you within you, bless you now, today, and always. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Sing in your heart forever a song that's meant to be sung with your soul, and only you know the words and the harmony. It is with you in your sorrow, talking to your pain, telling you a new tomorrow when you might be whole again. Sing in your heart forever a song that's meant to be sung with your soul, and only you know the words and the harmony. It is yours to hold. It's more precious as gold. It's from the light shining inside of you. And the music in your eyes is like the sunshine in the skies, making this whole world brand new. Sing in your heart forever a song that's meant to be sung with your soul, and only you know the words and the harmony. Hallelujah.